Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 31st of January. So, what we got going on for today then? Let's have a look at the news events. Sorry, I flicked on it and flicked off it earlier. Okay, so Tuesday, the 31st, and there's not a great deal. New Zealand data at 9:45 this evening. So quite some time off there. Consumer confidence in the US at 3. Might get a little blip around that, but and the Chicago PMI sitting at 2:45 for 3 o'clock. So might get a bit of action around this morning, around the afternoon even. Nothing this morning at all. That's what I was thinking. And the Canadian dollar news at 1:30. So GDP. Now this does come out on a monthly basis, and it has less weighting than the quarterly type GDP. However, there it is, and I expect it to be pretty neutral-ish movement. Now we have no speakers now because we've got all the central bank meetings, so no one's allowed to speak in public. So we've got no speakers today, tomorrow. We don't get them till Wednesday, Thursday. I say tomorrow. We have got them tomorrow evening. Big pardon. And it is Wednesday tomorrow. Anyway, moving on quickly before go crazy. So euro dollar. Euro dollar. There we go. 4-hour picture of the euro dollar. Sums it all pretty much up. The chop that's running through. I struggled yesterday, didn't get a single trade. There was a couple of things I was looking at. They never really signalled. One signalled really late, and I was quite glad I was in the car at the time because it would have fouled. So it's just the way these markets are. I want something. There are some movements for sure. We saw some selling off in the euro yesterday here, and it might continue a little bit this morning. We're sort of sitting around some lows here. It breaks back down here, runs further down through the S1. We could see it running off to the S2 there. There's a possibility. So that is sitting there a tad on the weak side, but as ever I always say wait until 8 o'clock, see what's happening, how the markets are shaping up. The pound dollar, let's run up from the again consolidation here. Didn't run off quite as much yesterday, but again 4 hourly bars, you just see how consolidated it is. The thing is, it is consolidating and shoving. Consolidating, I didn't get such a shove then, but I do wonder if we'll see as we moved through the week more of a shove to the upside. But yesterday I was just looking at this, and it's pretty much untradeable. If you're getting trades in this, you've got to be really down in the scalpy 5-minute area, maybe even 2 minutes. It really is not fun. And I moved away from those time frames to give me trades. I want trades showing off the hourly, 4-hourly time frame ideally. Something with a bit more oomph. They just got better probability. The US dollar yen, well, it's again just consolidating. Where's the surprise in that? It's actually in a wedge pattern overall, and well, a break of the daily pivot could see it on for the S1 back to these sort of body lows down here. It would all tie up. It would give us a lower high in this short term. It is looking a little bit stronger this morning, but overall we'll see what happens there. But the overall bigger picture is of course down to the downside. Sentiment from the bigger traders is looking for the strength of the yen and the weakness of the US dollar, so would expect that to continue to the downside. The Aussie US dollar, well, chopping along here. It's just, I say chopping along, it's actually just sold off. The sentiment on these I say sentiment, the short-term sentiment from the markets here is very much sell the commodity currencies, and you can see how it's come off here. I'm expecting at some point for this to reverse, but at the moment I'm not fighting a short-term trend as much as it is. I do want to be playing on the long side trend at some stage, but not at any cost. It hasn't really got a great deal of support where it's sitting at the moment. It broke through its it's already broken through its daily pivot even, heading down towards its S1. We'll see what happens if it can push back up, or maybe there's a chance to get back up there. Sorry, these are weekly pivots, not dailies. The dailies, there you go, it's already through its S1. Getting ahead of myself here. Untouched pivot, maybe if it starts turning it could be a target. It's got a 70% probability of being hit. US dollar CAD, again daily wise, I mean it's ugly on the daily wise. There was some potential yesterday. Sentiment wise, the Canadian dollar isn't doing too well with the big money. It's a bit bearish, and well, we saw quite a big move running through yesterday afternoon. Okay, came from 1 o'clock-ish time actually, when the real shove come, and off it went. But we'll see what happens today. We could get a continuation in this. There's not a great deal of movement up to its R2 if it was to push up that way at the moment. We'll see what develops here. If we get a bit more of a retrace than a reversal. If it's so long as it's got some decent support, would look at the long side there. Okay, the cross pairs again. Well, I just sort of looking like the euro yen, and it's sort of on this hourly basis, on the 4-hourly basis. You can just see it's quite ugly, and it's really not showing us too much at the moment. And across the other crosses, I'm sort of even looking at the crosses that are not involved in any of the news this week, and like the Aussie CAD, it's trying something here. We might get a bit of a reversal at some stage. I put an alert on there just to yesterday. I'll drag that down a little bit and see if we get a move back up there. I quite like the overall picture, what's going on here. Decent trend, nice retracement, but I'm just not trying to buy the knife at the moment. I want to, or catch the knife. I want to see it do a little reversal, get over the highs here. Anyway, there's the forex market today. Choppy in most cases, cross pairs, not a lot of choice, but that's still on my list to watch. Of course, the Aussie dollar, Aussie CAD. Okay, looking elsewhere then, he says, if only. I'm sorry I missed gold on Friday. Oil on Friday. It's a rarity to miss it. Talking of gold though, it's just retraced off a little bit here. It's just come off, but this is the same as what we're seeing through the rest of the rest of the currencies. The rest of the currencies, that's what they're doing. It's done everything. I mean, lovely move back, retrace into the pivot and sold off. It's done just about everything for me this morning, so there's no trade left. So we are. Anyway, there we go. It might continue to the downside, what we're seeing here. Longer term, I'm still sitting there quite bullish, as is the big money, with the sentiment piling in with contracts on the long side, long contracts. Crud, as it's better known, it's rolled back over here. It's rolled back over, looking on the softer side of things. It's trying on the lower time frames here to push up and do something, but really it's lost its way a little bit at the moment, and well, we could be seeing cheaper oil soon. I doubt it'll make any difference to that at the petrol pumps. Anyway, right, moving on. Just looking across the Asian markets really quickly, and we've got a continuation of the sell-off yesterday on the CSI 300. That's continued to sell off and still got scope to turn around there. We just sort of the fizz has dropped out of the reopening of things, and just maybe worn out a little bit, and a lot of the other equity markets aren't looking quite so bright. Take the Nikkei. It's just consolidating here, not really going anywhere at the moment. It's slow. Nifty 50 still, well, managed to turn around a little bit yesterday, but I would be looking, if I was trading it, I'd be looking for the short side opportunities on it for sure. US S&Ps. Yesterday, bearish little bar there. It's got higher lows on this bigger time frame. As we come down the time frames, it's got some of the patterns there, but it's bearish sort of little pattern on the shorter time frame. It's got these lower highs coming through here on the hourlies, and it looks a bit iffy, but not hit either the R1 or the S1. The pivot's just above. We'll see what happens as we run through the morning here. It can get back above its daily pivot. Well, it'll be looking a bit more bullish, and this will look like just a mere retrace in a bit of an upward trend. Dow Jones, similarish picture yesterday. Pivot swing sitting there on the dailies. And again trying to push up, but saying that the underside of these pivots might be fun. I'm saying that whether they'll get up there, with the same with the S&Ps there, if it gets up there and stalls into the pivot and starts selling off, good run down to the S1 possible there. The Nasdaq, well, similar picture to come up to the dailies there. It's all similarish. It's just a bit weaker actually. It's not really, the retrace was pretty tight. But again, look what happens there. Now, I don't sell dead into it. I'll wait for the reversal. Just a pre-warning. Close to home then, looking at the DAX. Oh, what an ugly scene on the short time frame here. And, well, dailies as well. It's just continuing to chop along. Trouble with this sort of market, even if you're thinking, well, the big trend's up to the upside, the upside is quite limited on the shorter time frames here. It's certainly got this sort of ceiling running as pretty much with the daily pivot here. So it could get grind out another shove to the upside there, but quite an ugly looking market at the moment. Again, the pound, similar picture. So consolidation over the last few days, and it all hangs on these decisions from the central banks. I believe, now I might be wrong, and it might not affect them, but I think it will. It's the statements that come from them. It's really being waited for. Okay, that's pretty much it for me today. I'm going to wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now. There we go, job done there.